to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening, this is the 5FM Radio Main News, the headlines. Zambia's partnership with the UNCTAD remains unblemished and the country wanted to be more rationalized. Luapula ready for investment as government launches 26 Expo. And strike deal reached after 2 days of chaos at Kenya's main airport. This bulletin is live on our Facebook page, 5FM Radio Zambia, and also streaming live on our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sannie. President Hakainde Hichilema notes that Zambia's partnership with the United Nations Trade and Development (UNCTAD) remains unblemished, and the country wanted to be more rationalized and consolidated so that it can deliver clearer economic outcomes for the benefit of the people. Earlier this morning, a bilateral meeting was held with UNCTAD Secretary General Ms. Rebecca Ginspan at State House, where views were shared. President Hichilema expressed gratitude to UNCTAD for supporting Zambia during the debt restructuring period and also thanked the Intergovernmental Organization of the United Nations UN Secretariat for the support it is rendering to the country to promote e-commerce through the Automated System for Customs Data initiative. The head of state added that e-commerce must take root in the country as it cuts out numerous vices which hamper convenient trade. President Hichilema said that the economic path that the country is working on is leading to a place where there are enough job and business opportunities for the people of Zambia with reliable treasury incomes.
Where takes place, there will be some appetite to do wrong things. But digital platforms, I'm not saying they're shielded from those things completely, but they do help us to basically reduce those negatives and, for example, enhance our treasury income. And that's important to us. So we would like to see the issues around it. And I heard when you were doing introductions, your colleagues on the mining sector, value addition, hey, you are our beloved friend. And we want to see ascension quickly. We don't want to talk about this thing and talk and keep attending conferences, the Secretary General, and yet, the man in the street can't feel the benefit of the mineral endowment.
Vice President Mtali Nalumango has officially launched the 2026 Luapula Investment Exposition, declaring that Luapula Province is now primed for large-scale investment following significant progress in energy, infrastructure, and policy reforms. Speaking at the official launching of the Luapula Expo held at the Mulungushi International Conference Center in Lusaka, Ms. Nalumango said the launch signified government's firm commitment to repositioning Luapula as a key driver of Zambia's economic transformation. She stated that under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, government has implemented sound macroeconomic policies, investment-friendly reforms, and targeted public expenditure aimed at unlocking growth in provincial economies. Addressing energy concerns that previously constrained investment, the Vice President announced that the 50-megawatt Mahunga solar power plant is currently supplying 14 megawatts to the national grid, a development that has effectively ended load shedding in the province. She further noted that recent legislative reforms are enabling greater participation of local suppliers in the mining sector, thereby expanding opportunities for Zambian enterprises. Ms. Nalumango also underscored Luapula's agricultural potential, citing its fertile soils and abundant water resources. She pointed to investment prospects in palm oil production, livestock development, and aquaculture, noting that the province accounts for approximately 30% of Zambia's water bodies. Meanwhile, Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry Spoka Mlenga reaffirmed government's commitment to attracting both foreign direct investment and domestic investors. Mr. Mlenga said improved power supply and ongoing infrastructure projects are positioning Luapula for expansion in mining, tourism and the services sector. He urged the business community to register for the forthcoming exposition through the Zambia Development Agency platform and assured investors of government's readiness to address operational bottlenecks.
I want to encourage and invite everyone else, not only foreign direct investors, but also local investors. The economy is inviting, the economy is rewarding and bringing everyone from different cross sections of society to invest in our country. And this time, Luapula has stood tall and said, here we are. Not only in tourism, not only in mining, but in various service industries that we wish everyone else to come on board and invest in. So as the ministry, in collaboration with Zambia Development Agency and the provincial leadership, from today until the day of the expo itself, we want to encourage people to be a part of what we are doing. On the brochure that you have on your tables,
the Vice President formally declared the 2026 Luapula Investment Exposition launched, assuring investors of policy consistency, political will, and a secure investment climate. United Party for National Development UPND Media Director Max Simue has dismissed opposition claims that the recent end to load shedding is a political strategy ahead of the upcoming August general election. Speaking during a media briefing, Mr. Simue said it would be pretentious for critics to describe the restoration of stable electricity supply as a campaign tactic by the UPND government. He argued that if the consistent power supply were to be considered fake or manipulative, then the 2023-2024 drought and the strategic interventions undertaken to address the power crisis would also have to be described as fabricated. Mr. Simwe emphasized that the government has implemented and continues to implement concrete measures aimed at halting load shedding and stabilizing the country's energy sector. Among the measures cited are the commissioning of solar power plants and the development of other renewable energy projects intended to diversify the country's energy mix and reduce dependence on hydroelectric power. He maintained that the improved electricity supply is a result of deliberate policy directions and investments rather than a short-term political maneuver.
By Mozambique supplying power to Zambia, they were pretending. Then we should also agree that the MPs from the opposition who asked the question on the floor of parliament that what is government doing given the drought that has ravaged the country? That was the question. And there was a ministerial statement that there will be supplementary budget. We should also agree that the entire opposition in parliament we are pretending. We must be serious as a country. This was the worst drought ever. A supplementary budget of about 42 billion, which saw the DMMU coming on board for help. A number of new media institutions went out to carry different stories to that effect.
The government of the Republic of Zambia, through the Ministry of Health, has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening international partnerships and at improving healthcare service delivery across the country. Secretary for Administration, Mrs. Joma Tambatamba Simui, led the Zambian delegation on a strategic visit to a Project Cure warehouse in Philadelphia, United States of America. The purpose of the visit was to assess available medical equipment and identify priority items for dispatch to Zambia under the ongoing collaboration between the Ministry of Health, Project Cure, and Islamic Relief. During the tour, the delegation inspected a wide assortment of medical equipment, including examination beds, delivery beds, drip stands, oxygen concentrators, and other essential hospital items available in significant quantities. Project QR is scheduled to dispatch a cumulative total of 27 40-foot containers of medical equipment to selected health facilities in Zambia by June 2026. The delegation expressed appreciation for the organization's rigorous quality assurance processes. The permanent secretary noted that all equipment undergoes thorough testing and certification, including issuance of certificates of analysis, before being packed and shipped to ensure safety, reliability, and compliance with required standards. When outlining Zambia's priority needs, the permanent secretary emphasized the urgent demand for renal and oncology equipment, particularly dialysis machines and equipment for cancer diagnosis and treatment. This is contained in a statement issued by First Secretary Press and Public Relations, Embassy of Zambia in Washington, D.C., Charles Tembo. And in other news trending this evening, a non-government organization dedicated to suicide prevention and mental health advocacy called Swala Pilu has appealed to Inspector General of Police through the Victim Support Unit to urgently explore sustainable measures to address the mental health challenges faced by police officers, especially those in junior ranks. Lunte Member of Parliament Mtoto Kafwaya has noted that citizens should support the Tonse Alliance in governance, as it is the reflection of the late former President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We make business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Choppy's Supermarket Limited has signed a memorandum of understanding MOU with First National Bank FNB Zambia to allow the vendors and suppliers to have improved access to financing facilities from FNB. Choppy's Supermarket Limited Manager Public Relations Muriana Nalwendo says vendors and suppliers will have access to a variety of financial solutions, among others working capital support, trade loans, and other credit facilities that will allow them to expand their capacity and maintain consistent supply. Mr. Nalwendo says the partnership is a practical solution aimed at strengthening the supply chain and ensuring that the suppliers are well positioned to meet business demands. He says at Choppies, the suppliers are key players to economic development and job creation. He believes that when suppliers are empowered, the entire supply chain becomes stronger. Mr. Nalwendo says this then contributes to improved product availability, greater operational efficiency, and enhanced service delivery across all the 42 stores countrywide. He has no doubt that the initiative will support the growth of local SMEs and align with the commitment to contributing to lowering the cost of living in Zambia.
So now the partnership aims to strengthen the supply chain and support local SMEs, as well as to contribute to the lowering of the cost of living in Zambia. Currently, you might be interested to know that Choppies is uptaking close to 80% of our produce that you see on our shelves from the local suppliers. So with this initiative and the MOU we have signed today with FNB, we want to believe with no doubt that this is going to enhance financial stability. It will enhance growth and supply capacity within our SMEs to be able to enhance product availability on our shelves.
Ends the business news, and in news from across our borders, aviation workers in Kenya have agreed to resume work during the second day of their strike that has led to cancellations, delays, and diversions, which have particularly hit the main airport in the capital, Nairobi. Operations are expected to slowly return to normal at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, one of Africa's busiest transport hubs and where some passengers have spent more than 20 hours waiting for their flights. The Transport Ministry oversaw urgent talks with unions and other groups. Aviation contributes immensely to the economy of the country, and we are committed to ensuring that the sector remains stable, said Transport Minister Davis Churchy. And in sports news, NAPSA Stars Football Club has announced the appointment of a new technical bench as part of the club's ongoing efforts to strengthen performance and competitiveness. Technical Director Tenan Chilimba has assumed the role of head coach. He will be assisted by first assistant coach Zedi Saileti and second assistant coach Kigan Siabeni, while Philip Panda has been appointed goalkeeper coach. Chief Executive Officer Charles Chakatazia welcomed the appointments. The club extends its full support to the new technical bench as they begin their duties. This is contained in a statement issued by NAPSA Stars Football Club Media and Public Relations Officer Faith Kaira Sunzu. And now, the weather.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chineka Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
The evening is mainly cloudy, slightly windy and mild with isolated rain and occasional thunder. Ends our weather report, and that item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema notes that Zambia's partnership with the United Nations Trade and Development remains unblemished, and the country wants it to be more rationalized and consolidated so that it can deliver clearer economic outcomes for the benefit of the people. Vice President Mtali Malumango has officially launched the 2026 Luapula Investments Exposition, declaring that Luapula province is now primed for large-scale investment following significant progress in energy, infrastructure, and policy reforms. And finally, aviation workers in Kenya have agreed to resume work during the second day of their strike that has led to cancellations, delays, and diversions, which have particularly hit the main airport in the capital, Nairobi. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the happy world of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sannie. Enjoy the rest of the evening.